Hi everybody, this is Gary Dean and this is our nightly video report for Thursday, February 4th, 2016. Just a real lot of jockeying around today and not a whole lot by the time the bell sounded on the S&P. The Dow's been a little bit stronger lately, but what I'm concentrating on is the S&P, and it was some big moves both up and down, but really hard to nobody could really make a decision on what they wanted to do. So this is a 5-minute chart of the S&P, and the reason why I'm showing you is this divergence on a short-term chart caused the S&P to drop from 1927 all the way down to 1903. Once we got a little bit of a bullish divergence, which is kind of it, made a double bottom, not really a good one, but you can see when we got oversold, we found buyers. So they're really just concentrating on the short-term charts where you can see they're buying the moving average here. Now, this is kind of the way that I'm looking at it. I mean, if they decide that they're going to head higher, we have we're going to have a bearish wolf wave, or we're going to have this wedge that's in place that's going to hint that the next move is going to be coming down to these levels here. Now, we take a look at the 15-minute chart. Let's say the bulls try it tomorrow to head up here. We're then going to get bearish divergences on the 15-minute chart. Now, the last time we had that, we saw the S&P drop, all the way from the 1947 down to the 1871. So again, if the bulls, do make the move higher, it kind of seems like it's just, the next move is going to be moving down once they achieve that, and you can see that the buyers were stepping in at the moving averages here, but there was nothing that was convincing, I guess is probably the best way to put it, with the buyers right now. But there was nothing really convincing on the sellers, and also. So we take a look at the 60-minute chart here. This has the potential of making, let's say, a head and shoulders pattern, because it's kind of at the top of the of this little pattern right here, and if that happens, you can see, because it's happening here. Overall, it's kind of at the lower end of things, but where this move took place, it does, you can say it fits. If this is the pattern, this is the neckline, left shoulder, head, and this is the right shoulder. Now, if I take this off here, what you're going to notice is that the S&P, when it made it back up to retest this right here, this is where sellers stepped in. So they may come back up, do another test on it, and maybe come up to this area here. If they do, I'd probably be interested in adding to the short position. But in my eyes, we're kind of, I want this move, if we're going to head lower, I want it to start soon, as soon as tomorrow, because going into next week, I wouldn't mind being cash. And if we get that move, this wave B that I would think would be playing out on it, I want to be cash, and I want to be buying when we're down here. I don't want to be, kind of short the whole time. I don't want to make that switch right, from the SDS to SSO. So, if we have that push down someplace down into these levels here, move to cash and then wait to be a buyer, and that could be as soon as next week. If they head higher, layer in the next short position, and then we may just come down and maybe test this bottom, or we may head lower. Kind of tough to say, but really it's hard to say, because we haven't really been doing a whole lot. We've been seeing big moves down, big moves up, and there's no real buy or sell signals, except when we start looking at the shorter term charts, like the 5-minute chart here. So right now, I have my neutral hat on. I have a little bit of a bias to the downside. Excuse me. And if it happens, then I'm not married to staying short. If it comes down, I'm probably going to take some profits and wait to become a buyer sometime next week. If they head higher, I think we could, add to the short just for the a move lower that I believe would play out. And, like I said, the bigger move I think is probably coming to the upside, and, it could start sometime next week. So with that, let's see what plays out tomorrow, and have a great night.